Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been like over a week since I've done a video. Fun fact, this last weekend I had emergency surgery for an appendectomy. So yeah, what is today? Today's Thursday. That happened Sunday. It's been 4 days. I'm four days post-op, but you know me. I still had to, do the budget, do the groceries. So I decided to do a little grocery haul for you guys. For those who don't know me, my name is Carly. I am a wife and homeschool mom of five boys. On my channel, I like to talk about budgeting, meal recipes. I do grocery hauls, anything kind of like budgeting and like retirement-ish, getting out of debt, things like that. I also really love doing unboxings and product reviews, and occasionally we'll try on some makeup. If any of those things sound interesting to you, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future content. This isn't going to be like as extreme of a grocery haul as I did in September. I'm not doing like $25 a week, but it is still actually fairly on the cheap side. After I deducted the household stuff I bought some laundry detergent and some other random things, I spent like $108 and change. So I will show you what I'm making and what we're gonna be making this week. Okay, so that's my receipt, but after deducting everything that was not actually food, it was $108.91. All right, so this is all the things. My husband put them up here, so stuff's not like as organized, but there are some like random kind of impulsive things like fruit snacks. Do we need them? No, but I am going to be starting to potty train my almost 2-year-old pretty soon, and I find fruit snacks are like a wonderful potty training bribe. Cut chocolate for myself because I was feeling sorry for myself with having surgery, so those are for me. Everything, by the way, this is all from Aldi. I got canned green beans to go with dinners this week. I got their Irish butter. I'm not sure. I have not researched this version of Irish butter, like if it's better. Normally, we've been lately getting Costco's Irish butter. Don't mind my kids play pan over there. Got these. Lately, I've been eating either their avocado toast or some of this prosciutto on whole grain sprouted bread for lunch. So that's for me. I got carrots here. There's another bag somewhere, but got a couple bags of carrots because, as you know, that's like the #1 vegetable my kids eat with lunches is carrots. For breakfast this week, we are doing cereal. Ooh. Cereal. Yeah, not the healthiest. I feel like cereal in general is not that healthy, but it is what it is. It's what we're having for breakfast this week. Besides the cereal, I'm gonna alternate and have cereal, and then we'll make pancakes. And then I think a couple days we'll also have eggs. Lunches are literally gonna be pretty much sandwiches this week. I also have some hot dogs in the fridge and a couple of boxes of macaroni and cheese. So we'll also have those for lunches. I bought pumpkin spice coffee, guys. I've never been a pumpkin spice coffee person, or I didn't think I was up until recently, and I gave in and I bought some, so we'll see if it's any good. Maybe it'll be gross. I don't know. I also got these dry Italian seasoning mixes, and I actually don't even know why. I feel like whenever I'm looking up recipes, there's lots of random recipes that call for Italian salad dressing, like seasoning mix, and I never have it on hand, so I just bought it. So the next time I fall across a recipe that calls for it, I will have it. But like totally was an impulse buy, not needed. I bought a couple bags of Pita Chips. I have some hummus in the fridge that I need to eat up, and so I bought some Pita Chips to go with it. I also like to eat them with like carrots or celery sticks or whatever. For fruit this week, I got bananas. I got some oranges. I also have somewhere, there's apples. I wonder if those got left in the car. I better go check the back of my car because I think I'm missing stuff. Bought more syrup to go with pancakes, milk, heavy whipping cream for our homemade creamer, and then guys, I bought this too. Pumpkin spice coffee creamer. Oh, I've turned into such a basic person. It's so sad. Oh, there's my apples. Oh, eggs. I also got cold brew, pumpkin spice latte, cold brew, almond milk, coffee, which we'll see if it's any good. Like, clearly I went a little overkill on the pumpkin spice coffee stuff, but it is what it is. Oh, we're also, for sandwiches, we're eating peanut butter sandwiches, so I had to buy more peanut butter, and I didn't know that Aldi had just peanut butter, but they do. And then I have lunch meat too in the fridge and cheese, so we'll alternate between peanut butter sandwiches and meat and cheese sandwiches, and like I said, hot dogs and macaroni. So my kids will be eating well this week. Oh, and I also got these white bean chips, hint of lime white bean chips. I didn't realize they were hint of lime when I grabbed them, because I thought maybe those would be yummy with the hummus, but maybe they'd be weird with the hint of lime. We'll find out, but they'll definitely be used. I have salsa, so this is everything I got for like $108, like I said. And then I'll show you throughout the week what we're gonna be eating. And look at, oh, messy, what we'll be making out of all this stuff. Yes, I am just gonna quick show you guys one of our family's go-to dinner recipes. Like, when in doubt, we make chicken. You know, we grill it, we roast it, we air fry it. Today I am gonna air fry it. And today's dinner is chicken, potatoes, and green beans. Super easy, super simple. I'm going to fry the potatoes. Obviously, I just buy like a big old bag of, I don't know, potatoes. Russet potatoes? Yeah, I think I have russet potatoes right now. And they're so versatile. Potatoes are like the easiest, most inexpensive way to like bulk up meals. That and rice. So I am going to show you my kind of go-to way that I like to season chicken. So if you've watched any of my shelf timber videos that I did, you'll know these are kind of like my go-to seasonings. But this Monorail chicken seasoning is literally like the best seasoning to put on chicken. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of the Creole seasoning because I just like kind of the smoky flavor it adds. And then just a drizzle, just so that everything sticks a little better to the chicken. This is boneless chicken thighs from Costco. I generally also do really like using bone-in chicken thighs as well, especially when we're grilling. But these are boneless, so that's what I'm using because that's what I have. Okay, so first I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit of olive oil. I don't need a ton. All over the chicken, excuse me, not olive oil, avocado oil. And I'm gonna put a very, very generous amount of that Montreal chicken seasoning. And then just a little bit of the Creole, not too much, because it does have a little bit of spice. And then you can either use your fingers if you want, or tongs, whatever, and kind of rub all this together. I might end up putting some of the seasoning on the other side as well, because I kind of want it fully coated. Right, so I washed the potatoes and chopped them all up, and now I'm just going to add some Lawry's seasoning salt and some Mrs. Dash table blend to those. I also already put some avocado oil on the bottom of the pan. Sorry, the lighting is crazy now. Since it's a little after 5, the sun's coming in my kitchen and it's making everything way too bright. But I'm going to, so they're technically going to be fried potatoes. No, Griffin's come to assist. But I'm going to finish them off in the oven. I'm going to initially kind of crisp them up a little bit on the pan, and then I put them in the oven on broil, and every like 5 minutes I stir them. I just find it's an easier way to get them fully cooked and crispy without me having to constantly mix them in the pan and worrying about them sticking, if that makes sense. And then I'm about to cook my chicken in the air fryer here on 400 for about 45 minutes. Hi guys, I just wanted to pop on here quick and let you know what I'm making for dinner tonight. Well, I'm not really making it, Brian is. I'm gonna be gone. So I am using what chicken we have left from yesterday's roasted chicken and potatoes, and we are going to just make cheese quesadillas. The best way when you're using up leftovers is try to repurpose them to make something else, so you know, like, you don't have to worry about your meals getting boring. We already had tortillas, so we're literally just gonna be doing the chicken, shred it up, chop it up, cheese with 2 things of tortillas, fry it up like a grilled cheese on a pan with a little sour cream and salsa. Wham, that's dinner. I'm sorry I didn't show you like the food after it was cooked yesterday. I got just distracted getting it all cooked and everyone ate and I forgot. You know, it's roasted chicken and potatoes, nothing exciting. So yeah, that's what we're having tonight for dinner. Also, if you heard any little baby sounds, that's from Griffey. Yeah. Just been my little buddy all day. Okay, I'm gonna share with you another meal that we're having this week. Also, I don't know, like when I showed like my grocery haul for this week, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't buy any protein because we already had enough protein to get us through the rest of this week. So I didn't have to buy any. So we are having chicken and rice today. There's so many different ways you can make chicken and rice, and I've made them quite a few ways, more fancy, more simple. I feel like today is gonna be a little more simple. I'm using brown rice because I have it, and I'm gonna cook it in that boiling pot over there per instructions. I do generally though, when I cook, especially brown rice, I tend to always do more liquid than it calls for because I feel like I always end up needing to add more liquid. So what I do is I add more liquid than it calls for, and then I just keep checking the rice, and when it's done, I will strain out the rest of the liquid. I just feel like that makes it easier. I've heard that, you know, if you have an actual rice cooker or an Instapot, makes rice super great and super easy, but I don't have an Instapot. So this is just my hack of how I do it. But I'm gonna cook a couple of cups of brown rice. And then I am going to add a couple of tablespoons of this to the rice just to give it more flavor. I also do chicken broth too, but I don't currently have any chicken broth. I'm actually making some in my crock pot right now, but it won't be ready until like tomorrow. So I'm gonna just use some chicken bouillon. Make sure you measure it out. One time I did too much and we had like really salty rice. It was a little too salty. So I just do a couple tablespoons just to add some flavor. And then also, as the rice is cooking, I'm gonna add in some green onions because I have them. A lot of times when I make chicken and rice, I will dice up carrots, but I am currently out of carrots, so I don't have that. And normally I would use normal onions, like a white onion or whatever, but I only have green onions. I take that back. I don't only have green onions, but I have green onions that I need to use up, so I'm using green onions. Editing Carly here. I apologize that there is a lot of background noise from my children. It's raining outside today, so they're kind of stuck inside, and even when they're playing what I think is quietly downstairs, my phone picks it up and you can hear it. But you know, that's life with kids, so it is what it is. But I apologize if it is distracting to anybody. I wanted to say too, if I'm using like a white onion or a yellow onion or whatever, I normally will chop that up and I'll saute it first and then throw it in with the rice. But since these are green onions, that's why I'm kind of just like dumping them in the pot. Same thing if I put carrots in. When I have carrots, I chop those up, I saute those and the onions together first, because that just softens them up and releases a lot more of their flavor. But again, since it's green onions, I'm not doing that because we're down to the canned vegetables. We are gonna have canned green beans with dinner, my go-to cheat meal vegetable staple that my kids will eat without whining about. While the rice is cooking in the Dutch oven, I am going to cook up my chicken. You can, if you want to make this like a one-pot meal, you could, you know, cook your chicken in the same pot as you make your rice once it's done. So I just took about 5 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, because that's what I had, and chopped them up into like bite-sized pieces. And I am gonna saute them on a pan with a little bit of avocado oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. You can definitely add, if you want, some like sauteed garlic or whatever other herbs and spices you want to make it more fancy. You definitely can. I'm probably gonna be adding in some more into the rice once it's done cooking. Normally when I am trying to make food stretch farther, especially at the end of the month when, you know, we're at the end of the budget and I really don't want to have to buy any more food because I don't want to go over my grocery budget, especially for things like proteins, like, you know, meat. I try to have kind of the focus be a carb, such like for today, the rice. The rice is going to be the main focus of the meal. And then like the meat's going to be more of the side, because that makes it go farther. Where normally if I was just making like chicken and salad for dinner, we would easily eat like 2 packs of chicken, like at least 10 chicken thighs. But because we're having a chicken and rice, I'm able to cut that in half and cook up about half the amount of chicken that we normally would, because there's going to be more bulk with having that rice in with the recipe. So that's always something to keep in mind if you're trying to cook and try and make your food go longer, try to make your food stretch longer, is try and make the carb the main focus and then the meat be the side. Which I know in America, like we're so, you know, meat is the biggest portion that you get in your meals, which sometimes is fine. But when you're trying to stick to a budget, sometimes you gotta change it up and have it be a little less meat heavy of a meal. Okay, so after I'm done cooking my chicken, I'm gonna add it to my now cooked rice, which is just too hard to do while filming. But yeah, that's the next step. Add your chicken to your rice. Now, once you've added your chicken to your rice, you could literally leave it as is, like flavor-wise. This is super good. I did end up adding 3 cloves of garlic when I was cooking the chicken, just FYI. And then I always make sure I scrape like all the bits out. That's the one thing, if you cook everything in one pan, then all that like flavor you get from cooking actually like stays in it. So I scraped out as much as I could. But now what I'm gonna do to make this more like a creamy chicken rice, I'm actually gonna add some heavy whipping cream. Now this you're gonna wanna be careful with. I didn't really measure because you obviously don't wanna burn it because it's dairy. I'm also gonna be adding some Parmesan cheese. Normally I would add like real Parmesan cheese, real Parmigiano, but I don't have it at the moment. So we're just gonna add the fake stuff for some flavor, which does seem kind of wrong, but I wanna use it up since it's in my fridge. Add some of that. I just realized I had some of this in the back of my fridge. So I'm gonna use some of that. So I'm also going to add like a cup more of chicken broth. I'm just gonna measure. Now I'm gonna just let that simmer for a few minutes, just so it gets like really nice and creamy. So this is a finished result, guys. A super yummy, easy, creamy stovetop chicken and rice. So if you wanted to keep that dairy free, you could use like coconut milk or even almond milk instead of the cream. Or you could even just skip that step altogether. Instead of having like a super creamy chicken and rice, just do the steps like I did up until adding the cream and more broth. But it's a really yummy, like it's a perfect like fall, winter kind of cozy meal. And it's so easy. I don't know, I grew up eating like chicken and rice as a kid. I think the kind I had always was made with like cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup and rice. So this is like one step above it. And if you really want to get fancy, you could throw in a little bit of dry white wine and some Parmesan, like fresh Parmesan cheese, not the fake stuff I added. But this is my budget version, using what I had already around the house. All right, guys, today is my final meal I am doing for this video. I am doing a super easy ground beef and potato skillet. It's like the easiest thing. It's almost like Hamburger Helper, but you know, it doesn't come in a box, and it's a lot better than Hamburger Helper. I don't want to, let me just fix my hair here. I don't want to make it sound like it's not appealing. It's actually really good. It's super easy. My kids loved it, which is like such a huge win for me. When my pickiest eater, which is currently my 3-year-old, when he likes something, I'm like, we're gonna make this again. So all you're gonna need for this recipe is some ground beef, some potatoes, half an onion or so, and a couple cloves of garlic. Oh, and you need a cup of heavy whipping cream or milk. I've only ever done it with heavy whipping cream, so I can't tell you for sure how great it's gonna turn out with milk. But like if you're trying to not use dairy, coconut milk, like a can of coconut milk, coconut cream would work really well. And you're gonna need some cheese for the top. Unless you're doing dairy free, then skip the cheese. Let's get cooking. All right, so I already have my onions chopped up. I'm using minced garlic in a jar because I have it in the fridge, so I'm trying to just use it up. So that's what I'm using. And then I cut a bunch of potatoes. I pre-washed them, but then I always kind of throw them in water because I feel like more kind of junk soaks off them. And plus, when you're prepping potatoes ahead of time, it's a good idea to put them in water because it keeps them from like discoloring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strain these potatoes. I'm gonna put a little bit of avocado oil on this pan. I'm going to saute up my onions. Put that on. I did already cook my beef. When I buy like a bunch of beef from like Costco, like ground meat, I'll like pre-cook it all and freeze it in bags in the freezer because it makes things like this super easy. So if you haven't yet, you could pre-brown your meat first and then save a little bit of the drippings for sauteing your onions. But since my ground beef is already cooked, I'm gonna quick saute these. There's my ground beef. If you don't already do this, I'm telling you, if you buy like ground beef or ground turkey, and you have the time, just like cook it all up ahead of time, like then divvy it up, put it in freezer bags, label them so you know that it is ground beef. And then it makes life so much easier later on during the week or weeks when you're cooking something like tacos that needs beef, so you can make your tacos, you know, so much faster. I'm learning like prepping stuff like this ahead of time when I have time just makes my life so much easier. All right, now that they're this point, I'm gonna add in my garlic. By the way, does anyone else use like baby spoons to get like things out of little jars? Just me? That's okay. So now I am going to go ahead and add in, I'm gonna add in my potatoes. One thing I will say about this recipe, like if you want your potatoes super crispy, like maybe this recipe's not gonna be for you. They're gonna be nice and cooked, but they're not gonna be like super crispy potatoes. All right, next I put the ground beef on top. And then I did season with, I did some of this table blend, which is gone now, sad. Pepper, and then Lawry's seasoning salt. And then we're just gonna put a lid on this and let it cook for like 10 minutes. Ooh. So I don't actually have a lid that goes with this big cast iron pan, so I do that. And it works. So we'll check it every like 10 minutes, and you wanna cook it until the potatoes are soft. So guys, I should probably tell you, I have that on like medium heat right now. And then we'll check it at like the 10-minute mark, and I'll probably stir it. And then it probably will have to cook for like another 10 minutes. Also, we're beginning to have that horrible time of the day again where all the sun shines through my windows, my west-facing windows, and I get blinded. One day I will buy curtains for my kitchen or blinds or something, but we've lived here for like a little over a year now, and I still haven't done it. All right, so once your potatoes are all cooked and soft, you want to add about a cup of heavy whipping cream or milk. I have probably about 2 cups here because I made like a lot. And then you want to let that cook on kind of like medium low for another 10 minutes. All right, so now all the potatoes are soft and the milk and cream is all incorporated. Now I'm gonna just cover this with cheese. I do have one child who hates cheese, so I'm going to leave like a quarter of this uncovered. I like a lot of cheese, but that way he'll still eat it. So now I'm just gonna cover this until the cheese melts. And then it'll be all ready. And obviously, like, sorry, again, when I cook, it's messy. But that's real life, so it is what it is. All right, guys, once the cheese is all melty, this is the finished food. And of course, we have my go-to budget meal green beans. But I promise you, it's super yummy. Alright guys, that is all for me in this video. Sorry I didn't share any like breakfasts or lunches, but I felt like they were so like basic and boring this week that they weren't really worth sharing, you know. But if I ever have any inspired breakfast or lunch ideas or hacks, I will for sure share them with you. Leave a comment down below if you found any of these like meal recipes, you know, inspiring, or if you tried any of them. Sorry I didn't give any like exact measurements for any of them. When I'm like making stuff myself, I don't really measure that much, you know. A lot of the stuff I make is just kind of made up stuff. It's not really like recipe. I don't have a recipe, if that makes sense. But hopefully it kind of gave you guys some ideas for some easy and quick budget-friendly meals. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you all next time.